What it do? It's the Thug. We're doing just an update video today of all 5 of my tanks. Just gonna go over them real quick. Trying to keep it under 3 minutes per tank because I tend to ramble when it comes to fish keeping because I love fish keeping. So anyway, let's start with tank 3. Tank 3 is just a standard 10-gallon tank. The reason I call it tank 3 is because it's the 3rd tank that I got. This one is focused on breeding Endler Guppy hybrids. I've been doing this for, I'd say, maybe 4 months now. I've had this tank for that purpose. Before, I've bred honey gourami in here. I've gotten over 70 honey gourami from 2 different spawns in here, which was cool. This tank always had Ottocinculus in it. It still does. There's 1 honey gourami in here now. One that I bought from the store that was all pale, poor thing. So I'm giving her loving, giving her plenty of food, right? Actually, that reminds me. Give me 1 sec. Spin this up for him. It's a shot glass double tap root beer. That is not what is in here, though. In here is, oh, they already know. In here is brine shrimp. Fortunately, I ran real quick to PetSmart. The big ones, the adult fish love the brine shrimp. The little ones like obviously the baby brine shrimp because they can't fit it all in their mouth. But point is, they love it. They love brine shrimp whether it's baby or normal. So here's a good look at the stock that I'm dealing with here. Lots of females. I try to keep. Obviously you got to keep more females than males if you want success. If you're just chilling and you just want guppies, then then just go all males is my suggestion. And yeah, so I'm breeding these guys. There's more back here, of course, that haven't gotten the memo yet. I'll drop it. Oh, that was way too much, but that's fine. That's okay. I didn't mean to drop that much. Anyway, they'll clean it up. So yeah, this tank has that back there. There's some guppy grass. There's Amazon short grass, which is very tough to get to grow. It took a long time to get that to grow. I did have it growing all around up here too, but unfortunately the weather where I live in Pennsylvania is it gets pretty brutal during the summer. Actually, it can get into the mid-90s, 100 degrees, and not even counting the real field. But anyway, I gotta close the blinds because it'll just boil all the gups. So 30 seconds left for this one. I have Ottocinculus in here as well. I have red ramshorn snails. I have a ton of ramshorn snails in all of my tanks, but I'm trying to put just the red ones in here so I get just red ones, and then I'll repopulate slowly the other tanks. And there is a honey gourami in here as well. One that I bought from the store. I forget if I said this. One that I bought from the store that was pale. It is now coloring back up. Hopefully it's a female. I think it's a male, but I'm moving a honey gourami that I have in the next tank into here. And maybe they'll just have fun together. I'm not expecting them to breed. If it's a boy, I'm going to sell it, but hopefully it's a female, and that would be cool. All right, moving to the next tank. All right, now this next tank is what I call tank 2. This tank is a 20 long, another very common tank size rather. In my opinion, it is like the superior tank size, especially if you're going for a 20. Get a 20 long. Just so much better. Just looks better. I don't know. I just love it. Every time people compare this one to my 20 tall, they just love the 20 long. I agree. It's just great. Anyways, this one is thickly planted with moneywort again. You'll see down here is, oh, there you see me too. But down there is where the moneywort comes from, just there. And it has created all of that. All of this going through over there. Yeah, the fish sleep in there. Here, I'll show you from the top. The fish like to just go up in here in all these tangles, and they sleep in there. That's where the honey gourami I was talking about lives. He lives in here. Usually he's over here, but not right now, of course. But this tank is mostly for platies. This is my platy tank. Now, with that being said, there's a lot more than platies in here. I put like special pairs of other live bear, like there's a special pair of mollies and a special pair of swordtails in here, because then I know that they will grow because they're the only mollies and swordtails in here, or excuse me, grow. I know that they'll reproduce rather, and they're all mutts. All my fish are mutts because we go for health here. Health is most important. So all my fish are mutts, but I don't know. I just think you have a better chance of breeding two parents that look alike to get that same type of fish, you know. So yeah, then you take that fish and then you breed it with a different one that looks similar, yada yada yada. Point is, this is mostly for platies, but there is a lot of other fish here. As you can see, there's guppies. Excuse me, there's mollies, swordtails. There's that honey gourami I told you about, and there's also a fuck ton, pardon my language, of, that's a pretty, I really like that platy right there. That one, they're both marketed as raw platies. Hit up my eBay at The Fish Thug if you're in the PA area, or if you're not in the PA area and you want to work with me on a shipment, because I'm afraid to do it, to be honest. That's how much I care about the fish's life. If you want to work with me on that, so I can confirm basically that you'll be there to pick them up ASAP and all this kind of logistic stuff, hit me up. But anyway, yeah, so there's also a ton of stir-by corridors. I think I said that already, but there's a ton of them. They're probably laying, oh, there's a green, that would be Gilbert, the one-eyed catfish that I thought was a guy, and it's actually a girl. I bought 6 of them. She was the only one who survived, and she's been around forever. Here's proof of my stir-bys. There's one of them at least out in the sunshine. I've had those fish for over 3 years, closer to 4. Corridoras are very, very healthy, and I've seen them lay eggs, but I haven't seen any come through because this tank is always, you know, live bearer heavy. So I've seen this was pepper cories, but I've seen cories lay eggs, then eat the egg right after that, the mom. So they have to, they basically have to get away from their parents and every other fish in here. So anyway, this is my 20-gallon long sword plant in the center. I forgot about the plant. Sword plant in the center. This is all the money wort. I mentioned that. This is water spangle up here. I try to keep it behind this plastic thing. And I just, you know, it comes out and it tries to cover the light. See, I have the light right here. It's basically the only spot where it's open. Everywhere else is shaded. The money wort has just taken over this light here. You wouldn't even know it's on. So I just have this and the sunshine. And then there's all this guppy grass in here that grows from the direct sun. That's where all the catfish hang out back there. There's a big log in here that's engulfed at this point, but there's a big log back there. I have some Java fern on there. I'm trying to see if it'll grow, if there's even any room for it. But this tank is planted to the nines. Yeah, it's a great tank. I love this one. People love this tank too. Everybody who comes over really this one seems to catch their eye. So yeah, that is my tank 2, second tank I got, 20-gallon long. It's mostly for platies. Now moving to the next one. All right, and here we have the 20-gallon tall. This is the original tank that I got after I inherited my cousin's tank that broke after like 2 months of me having it. This is the tank I got that same day. It's a 20-gallon tall. Now, as I was just trashing the 20-gallon tall, I'm not saying that they all look bad. It just takes a while for them to look good. This one is full of Amazon sword plants, floating and planted. It is essentially a jungle. It's really dense. Some of the sword plants are at, you know, varying levels of health because honestly, it's a fight for light in here. So let's see who shows up when I drop the... This tank is focused on swordtails, but as you can see, there's also some other there's a decent population of platies in here right now. I've slowly been moving them out, but there's a good population of them in here. There's some really, really nice looking mollies that are on the come up. There's a beautiful swordtail right there, a big, I call those volcanoes. That's a new morph that showed up in my tank. I have several of them. There's some really, really red platies, some red swordtails, and then some more orangey ones. We call the red ones Sith swordtails, named after Star Wars, obviously. And then the more orangey, yellowy ones are called citrus swordtails. There's one right there in the front. That's a blue and red cross. We call them Huddy swordtails because, excuse me, orange. I think I said red. I meant orange and blue. That's my girlfriend's brother's favorite color combo, so we just call it Huddy swordtail. Excuse me. There's a lot of platies in here, as I said. Oh, pardon moi. And up here you can see all these tiny little fry. Lots of guppies, actually. I've been offloading, as I said, I've been offloading guppies from that guppy tank into here, into the other tanks as well. These guys certainly aren't shy at all. Two big boy, thick lip, I call them tetanus scaramis, with that rusty red coloring. And then also those, you can see their tail has a little bit of that, like, I don't know what I would call it, maybe marbled look, if you will. I got two boys in here right now. One for sale. Again, if you're in the PA area or you want to work on shipping with me, these guys wouldn't be as nerve-wracking because they are big and grown, and they do have labyrinth lung, which means they just have an easier access to oxygen. So when I fill the bag up with that oxygen, they'll be easily able to just take a couple gulps, as opposed to needing the surface to be, shook up for it. So it takes a little bit of nerves away, but yeah, so anyway, here's some of these really pretty all the platies came in. There's some really pretty mollies here. This one I'm a big fan of. We call them midnight mollies, just, instead of something else other than black or whatever you call it. Just trying to be a little bit creative, right? Put the fish stoke spin on it. So yeah, we got a few of those coming. We got a good amount of those. There's a big calico one back there. Call them Miner's Delight. That's a big red one. Big red swordtail. There's a beautiful platy right up front here. This tank here has a lot of adult fish. As opposed to the previous tank I showed, has a lot of younger fish. Same with the guppy tank, really. The guppy tank has just a handful of adults and then mostly young ones. So this is probably my most mature tank, although the last one I'll show you is pretty mature as well. But yeah, for plants, this one is just, like I said, Amazon swords. One there, one there. There's a bunch of them just floating all up around here. There's a guppy grass sanctuary, a great idea for any tank where you're any community tank where you're trying to save some fry, build them a little sanctuary. All right, let's look a little deeper in here. There's one there. There's one there. There's one back there. There's one there. There's one there. There. There at the bottom. Right there. And then as I move up here, look at all this. Oh, I just scared them all, but there, you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Point is, there's a bunch right here. Point is, more fish will live if you build them a little guppy grass sanctuary. It's very easy. Just put it in the corner, stuff a bunch of guppy grass in the corner, maybe use a stick like I did to kind of centralize it. You don't really have to do that, but just use a stick to centralize it. And there's another stick here to kind of hold it back, but yeah. And then this is this right here, actually I should replace this front, but I just put extra frying pan here because the gourami like to hang out under floating plants. So, yep, that's what this tank's all about. It's the jungle tank. jungle tank, mostly swordtails, but I got a little bit all kinds of live bears, as you know. 2 boy thick lip gouramis, and there are a bunch of, where are they actually? Maybe they're sleeping, but there's one there. There's a bunch of panda corridors in here. There's like, I think 11 or 12. I can't remember how many I got, but a good pack in there as well. So that's this tank, 20 tall, moving right along. All right, here we have another 20 long. This is my newest tank, called Tank 5. This one right now doesn't have a ton of action. Actually, it unfortunately has a guppy that looks like it's about to fucking die. She looks real bad. She had a bunch of babies, and didn't recover, and looks like she was getting beaten up by boys or something like that on her face. That looks bad. Oof. That, unfortunately, that might have to be a, mercy kill. I hate doing it, but... And then, as you can see, hopefully, maybe you can't, because they're so small, but you got little flickers of movement. See if you can catch any of it. It's hard to tell. Oh, you can kind of see it at the top there. There's one over here. Let's see, I'll zoom. Little tiny fry. Tiny fry. What they are 3-spot gourami fry. So about a week and a half ago, my 3-spot gourami finally had some babies. Had some nests. And the babies are doing pretty good, actually. Now here's some shrimp as well. It's they're nocturnal, so they're not quite out yet. But here's just a couple of them that I caught out and about. There's one there, there's one there. They're little now. These ones are little at least, but there's a lot more in here. I counted over 30 last night without trying. They really come out at night, so. But yeah, so this tank, sorry to show you the dead gup, but or the dying gup, but this is how I do things. It's just off the cuff. These are how my tanks always look. I'm not just cleaning it for the video. And I guess this is a way to prove that, right? If I was, I would have gotten rid of this, I probably would have gotten rid of this guppy a long time ago. But anyways, so yeah, that's what this tank's all about. I'm just slowly trying to cull these snails, bladder snails, and annoying the shit. There's some of these are blazing trumpets, they're annoying. They're not as bad. The point is, I'm trying to cull some of these snails so I can get the shrimp to have control of all of the grazing, if you will. So, yeah, that's the tank is. It's a no-out tank for my little 3-spot gourami. So, nope, it's little for long. And hopefully they will have some lavender. So plant-wise, this is more guppy grass. Just been throwing that in there. The shrimp love it. The excess guppy grass from the other tanks, just throw it in here. The shrimp love to check it out. More coverage for the fry as well. This is frog bit. It was great for the breeding process. The male was able to build his nest in there. Great. This guppy grass was awesome too. It allowed them to kind of separate each other from each other a bit if things got too spicy. Obviously, I'm struggling with light to the ground because of all the floaters right now, but there's some crypts regrowing. Finally getting my crypts to come in. A lot of times when you buy crypts, they die, and then some plants will do this. They just die and they'll eventually come back. Could be because of the tank wasn't quite established enough to have crypts yet, but anyway, dealing with a bit of an aphid problem, so I have to constantly dump these frickin' frog bit, fighting that. So I've been doing that for a while, and fighting that, and fighting the snails. And that's in all my tanks, not just this one. The snails from me using the same net, that's how they transfer, and these fucks, I don't even know what they do. And it's weird, it's not that there's bugs in my house everywhere, it's literally just here. It's very odd. It's just on the fish rack. It's very odd. Alright, moving on to the last one. Alright, here's the last one. This is my biggest tank. This is a 30-gallon long. I'm going to adjust the lighting so we can see a bit better real quick. Starting off from the top view, we got a ton of fry in here. This is a bunch of, remember I said Amazon swords? I got a ton of Amazon swords that just have sprouted these new shoots, and they come with more Amazon swords on them. So I have, it's a little bit of gunky back here, pardon the gunk. That's an old filter pad back there. There's a Molly, a pretty lady. This one's more for Mollies, because my Mollies get very big, so I wanted them to have a bigger tank. But yeah, so here's a little Guppy Garage Sanctuary. As I said, it's always good to have it if you're doing live bears in a community tank. So these are all those excess Amazon swords and the Guppy Grass kind of pushed into a corner. Right now it's a fight for light in this tank. So I have these lotus flowers, actually these tiger lotus, that I need to make some room for. I actually just remembered now, I planted. Oh, there's a big gourami. There's the mom from those 3 spots. It's the gold mom there. The lotus, it produced a seed, so I grabbed the seed and I planted it in that other tank, but that'll take in the 20 long that I just showed you, but that'll take a long time to grow. But so yeah, so there's these standard Amazon swords. This one's called a broadleaf Amazon sword. It's a little darker, has a little bit of brownish red to it. I really need to snip those stems. You got to remove the older dead leaves to get the new growth going, but I should just remove those stems. Then back there you see the male. The male's a blue 3-spot gourami back there. And then here's just another Amazon sword that I planted a while back. It's got some dead leaves on it, and then there's frog bit as well. You can see the roots coming in pretty nice all up here. Oh, there's Kenny. Hey buddy, what's up buddy? Good to see you coming out for the camera. Oh, and there's Keisha. Kenny and Keisha, a happy couple. As I said, this one is where'd I put my, hold on one sec, I gotta get the brine shrimp. Yo, I am back. So I got my brine shrimp now. These fish know the deal. They know about the shot glass. So let's have them gather up front. Come see the camera. Massive Variatus red platy there. As you see, a ton of platies in here as well. I'm trying to move. I had a lot of platies. I have a lot of platies currently. But there come the mollies. There's some black ones. There's some there's a sailfin right there. There's a Dalmatian. There is a gold one there. There's another gold one. There's a pretty beach platy. Let's see, what else? Come get some. There's a nice red swordtail, bright red female swordtail. You see, there's all the mollies. There are those black mollies. There's a blue platy. There's a nice minor delight molly there. So this tank's more so mollies. I'm moving away from the platies in here, and I'm moving them in that tank 2. There's a beautiful blue swordtail named Obi, named after Obi-Wan Kenobi, with the blue saber. He is the king of this tank, swordtail wise. You have to watch this tank with the swordtails, because they will jump and they will get aggressive over females. So you really got to pay attention. There's the big boy lurking back there. Ew. Go get it, bud. Keisha. You're a star, sweetie. I dumped a bunch of shrimp back there. I think your boyfriend got some. Here's some, I have a lot of pepper corridors in here. This is a big female. I think I told the story before, but I had a bunch of peppers in here. They, it was 9 out of 10 of them, I believe, ended up being ladies. One of them was a male. I had them laying eggs, and hopefully this young one or a couple of these young ones will be boys. Had them laying eggs. It was 1 male to 9 females, which means it's very hard for that male to fertilize, I guess. You need more males than females, which is not normal, but it's the opposite for catfish. If you want to breed them, they gotta have more males because they miss. Apparently, they miss when they try to when they try to shoot their shot. They miss. So you gotta get excess boys. So now I got a little crew of these guys. I think I got 5 of them, 5 more peppers, and hopefully there'll be boys in there, and they'll prompt these females to drop some eggs. I tried doing a standalone separated project for it, but time didn't work out. I did see some cool things though, and I have gotten 1 baby, but I mean they lay a ton of eggs, so you should be getting more than 1 baby. But yeah, so bottom feeders are these Corydoras. There's also serpent loach in here, which are a rare type of loach. Why is it rare? Because I literally bought them 2 years ago. There's one back there. Literally bought 6 of them 2 years ago and can't find them since. But they're in here. Here's another one. Pretty looking loach, actually. So there's those guys in here. There's a handful of them, and then there's also some coolie loaches in here too. So this tank has a nice variety of a lot, basically. Big gourami, all 4 of the live bears. This tank's pretty mature, actually. This might be my most mature tank. But yeah, this is what I wake up to in the morning. So, alright guys, thanks for watching.